The intention when we moved to the country was if we found a village to live in, we would start a coffee house. If we didn't find a village, frankly, I don't know what I would have done. Well, only one, well, a couple.
Oh, that's good. There's light coming from the side.
Yeah, this light's coming
we'll
in
be
here.
okay.
So I just kind of explain a little bit. This is one of the showdowns here, and I believe this is the one that's hanging at Mickey's. There's two versions of this group, or mid-70s here. This is a sketch by Michael White that he did from, there used to be a big V on top of the Viancours. I came in 1968 to Montreal in November. I got married, new life, all excited. I got a job at an advertising agency as a receptionist. So then I became the president's secretary. I enjoyed it, it was good. But then the marriage broke up, but I continued working, and I was hanging out with the Yellow Door with all these musicians. Then of course I ended up with another musician. I didn't learn. And except Chris Rawlings was very best, and he's one of the finest singer-songwriters that I know, even to this day. So we got together, and our friend Bill Russell, we lived in the student ghetto at Prince Arthur and Aylmer. So we decided to move to the country. You know, it was the hippie move. We had been up to Huberto. We came down that hill. It was the 329 then, Watchorn, and the car's brakes just failed. And Bill got it to stop and turned left, and there was a gas station right there, which was right across from where the Galerie is now. So we went in there, sat down outside, looked up, house for rent. Big, beautiful veranda around it. Bill Russell was from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he just loved the house. And we went, yeah. So we went over to Mickey's and got the number of the owner, phone, did it over the phone, didn't even go in the house. I was paying $125 or something in Montreal, and this house was up for $110. It's like, we'll take it. I mean, at the beginning, we had a restaurant in there for about 6 weeks where I made food. It was like one dinner, and it was $1.49 tax-free. And I guess it took me about 6 weeks to say, no, that's not happening anymore. We were open Friday and Saturday night, so people came. And we had a pretty loyal crowd of probably 15. Sometimes they wouldn't even come. We've had nights with nobody coming. We've had nights where Jesse Winchester had to turn the house over twice. It was so many people. It just varied, and we just carried along. Nobody made any money at all. Zero. The musicians made enough to get there. They got overnight, they got food. That's about it. And it attracted musicians like glue. So a lot of musicians moved up here, and then they were all part of, being the audience or playing and having jam sessions. So there was music maybe all day long some days, just people playing. There was always a rotation of people coming and going that, they'd stay for a while, hang out, do whatever, and then take off. Then somebody else would move in. But I've actually been able to stay in touch with almost everybody, not everybody, but there's some people that became extremely well-known, not from playing at Roses. It's just that they are musicians who worked and got up the level. The Yellow Door Coffee House, it's on Aylmer Street. It's still there. It's still functioning as a folk club, kind of. It's, well, now it's not, of course. But it still continues. I guess it's one of the oldest places.
You used to
next
live
to
right
Lena's.
behind it, right?
Yeah, I live.
First
We discussed that. I lived behind it. That was my extra living room. Actually, we were the extra living room to the Yellow Door. In Morin Heights, the village was happening. We had 2 banks. We had a gas station. We had restaurants. There was the Café de la Rue at the corner. There was the Books and Things. And there was just a lot of events always happening. The Legion was full force with kids things, and we'd coordinate some village activities. I did a few, we called them showdowns on the front lawn out beside the cantina, where we had all-day music outside, and it was really, really fun. There's always been music. It started when the hotels were running, and they had fiddle playing and dances with live bands, so that was the beginning. And then it kind of, in the 70s, the Commons was running with big bands at night, like big bands, yeah. And we would go down after, because I was like from 7 till 11, and then we'd all go down till 11 till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Then the studio moved up here. You know, some people from that played at the studios bought here and stayed here and lived here. Like after Roses, I continued to do odd events here and there. I did Wade Hemsworth with the McGarrigles up at the Carriage House, where we had a really nice Valentine's concert. Well, I started my own the house concerts, which is just a repeat of the Cantina, except I invite people and it's my party and that's it. On the weekends, we went down to the Commons. That's where the music was coming from, which you could hear all over town, no matter what. It came right up this river too, you could hear it. You could sit out here and listen to it. So, but it didn't disturb us. Nobody said, oh, you got to turn that off. It was just part of being here. It's really good to have the community there that wants to listen to music, that enjoys the music, and you can provide it. It's a vehicle for people to come and listen to live music and find out what it is. I'm very surprised that some people at the beginning, if I invite some young kids to come, not young, well I say young, they're in their 20s or 30s, and they'd never been at a house concert, ever. Or they'd never seen, when I did the theater, they'd never seen theater. I'm like, where did you live? Where did you grow up? How could that happen? So it's very important, I think, that live music and things, and to get the kids that are in the schools now aware of it, entertain them, working programs. I mean, I think Morin Heights it's got the edge on that because we have had music in this town for years. This is what I like to do, and organize and have people entertained. Don't ask me why, but I do. And I do enjoy it, and it's fun.
There's a road ahead. Take a left turn. We could start again. Should we draw